I'm gonna try to help explain how to get the newest XP recipe. Part of it is crafting this Mythic Ambrosia recipe, and so from scratch what you're gonna need to do is start doing your crafting writs on a provisioning skill line that you've maxed out. Go ahead and do your crafting writs. Actually, you can probably do any level of crafting writs as soon as you're eligible for doing crafting writs. I just happen to be the level 50. So do your crafting writs, and then you're going to get a reward. And in that reward for the provisioning writ, you're going to get probably a Mythic Ambrosia fragment. It's like a fragment of the recipe. You're going to need to collect several of these. I will kind of list a description of, precisely how many. So you do your crafting writ. There we go. So I'm just going to craft that. Nice little tip I'm just going to mention here. If you have trouble finding cheese, you can go right to Cold Harbor, and I believe that it's still true that you can go and raid all of the baskets and the fruit and the things right from under the vendors. There's lots and lots of cheese on a vendor right near the way shrine. You can go pick those up and you're not going to be busted for stealing. So that's a little tip there. There we go. It's Canarthur's Wing Chai. Alright. Okay, so I've completed my crafting writ, and now I'm going to deliver my crafting writ over to the quartermaster here. And if we're lucky, we'll get a fragment. So people are out here doing all of these provisioning on all of their characters. If you have 6 characters, 8 characters, you can do one of them per character to get as many of these fragments as you can, or a chance to get them. So place the get, and you get some skill, inspiration, I guess. I don't know. So what's in here? I did not get a piece of the Sijic recipe. It's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to get those. So, I mean, you can sit here and do crafting writs on all your characters, or you can go out to your guild. Maybe your guildmates have some spare fragments sitting around. The next thing you can do is see if you can find them for sale. A lot of times people are going to be actually advertising the entire Mythic Ambrosia recipe in Zone. So that's another place to look. Let's see, consumables, recipes, and I believe it's yellow. If you just want yellow, let's see if there's any here. No, that's not it. So that's about it. You're gonna have to find it. I'll put a picture up. You're gonna need to gather all of the fragments of the Mythic recipe to put them together to create the final recipe, and then once you have that, you use that plus the materials that you're going to need to get from going to different crafting nodes all over. At least it looks like about the first 3 zones in each of the factions should have pieces of the ingredients that you're going to need to craft the final product. Okay, so basically I'm just going to cut the crap here. I'm sorry, this is not one of my best how you do things videos. This Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia was introduced to us on patch November 11th, 2016. In order to craft this Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia, you must first find an etheric cipher. This is an extremely rare item that can potentially be found on any monster within certain areas, as listed before in the video. Then you will also need a recipe scroll for Mythic Ambrosia. Use the etheric cipher while the Mythic Ambrosia recipe scroll is in your inventory, and the recipe scroll will transform into a Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia recipe scroll. This recipe can only be understood by those with the highest rank of the recipe quality provisioner passive, so you must be a level 50 provisioner, and you must also know the Mythic Ambrosia drink recipe. So that means that you're going to have 2 Mythic Ambrosia recipes, one to learn and one to use to craft the Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia recipe. Now, once you have the Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia recipe and you have learned it, you will need a Mythic Ambrosia drink and ethereal dust in order to craft the Mythic Aetherial Ambrosia. The ethereal dust is very rarely found on resource nodes in certain areas, as mentioned before in this video. It can appear in ore, raw cloth, fallen wood, alchemical herbs, and mushrooms and water sources. It is not found on monsters. So, as you can see right here, this is a very intensive quest to learn this recipe. The end product is 150 XP boost. And if you think it's worth to go through all of that effort to possibly spend maybe 400,000, probably even more than that if you have to purchase Perfect Row, because you better be good at fishing to get Perfect Row. If you're willing to go through all of that to get one, or you probably, with a good crafting quality, you probably get several of those ambrosia drinks, and they might sell really well. But for me, it seems like the only reason to do any of this is to have a product in which you can sell to somebody who's actually trying to level. Once you already know all this stuff, there's pretty much no reason to level unless you're trying to get your champion points up, and I assume that's why most people would actually want it. Because as far as I can tell these days, you can actually go ahead and get your questing. Actually, you can level from 1 to 50 in a day. That's what I hear now. So if this is your type of thing, then go ahead, have good luck with doing all of this. That is what you need in order to get this mythic recipe. And if that's what you think is fun to do, then go ahead and do it. Personally, I think it's a little bit too much. I'm kind of I'm kind of maybe a little bit pissed off at Zoss for coming up with something stupid. I would really like to have more content. I'm at endgame, and just like a lot of other people at endgame, I'd rather find something more fun to do than crafting Sigic recipes and fishing for roe. So anyway, I hope that you found this helpful or informative. Maybe after watching this you decided maybe this isn't for you. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.